Hello, welcome back. Today I'm doing a review of the Brainy Bites crochet kit. It's called DIY Handicrafts Crochet Kit for Beginners, and it is a bunny crochet kit. It comes in multiple different colors. The one that we are looking at today is the green bunny. I have a lot to say and a lot of thoughts on this, so let's get into it. So let's get this out. It did come from Walmart, from their market that's similar to the Amazon market. I apologize for the one-handedness here. I did not have my usual setup during this video, but let's get it out and take a look. We're going to have a little bit of a jump screen here in a minute because I had to move to a different location to film due to some background issues. But the package itself has information on the side here. It says that it is everything you need. It also says it comes pre-started. The side of the package is a little bit difficult to read here just because of the way that it's folded together. But it does tell you that it is supposed to have everything you need and come pre-started. That's going to be an issue later, you'll see. But let's go ahead and get this out, take a look at everything that is inside. And in just a moment, we will be in a new location with hopefully a little bit better video. Okay, so let's see what's in this kit. We have instructions. It's all kind of smashed in here pretty tightly. Here's our crochet hook. Crochet hook and our different bits and bobs. We've got some safety eyes, a plastic, looks like plastic darning needles ×2. That one might be metal. Let's see if that's a metal. I don't think it is, but let's just see. Yep, there's one plastic and one metal. And then stitch markers. And then there's this little, almost carabiner-like hook to attach it to like a backpack or something with a lobster claw on it. Our yarn, looks like it's t-shirt yarn, touch of pink, all the green. And then we have our vacuum-packed stuffing. And that is all. I don't love that this is vacuum-packed like this. I feel like it makes it a lot more difficult to fluff it out. I don't know that this is going to be enough. They've taken all the air out of it. It may work. I may have to dig into my stash of stuffing. We'll see. On the yarn here, it is supposed to be pre-started, so let's see. I don't feel anything in here that's pre-started. Where's our, is there a center pull? Here's the middle of it. Yeah, that is definitely not pre-started. This is definitely not pre-started. I'm certain this says so. There is also a QR code on the back for the video. Let me look at this packaging again. I'm certain that this said pre-started. So this side just says learn to crochet. And this side says everything you need pre-started for you. Nothing is pre-started. Step-by-step videos to make your perfect crochet project, handmade by you. This is not pre-started. And why is this in two different hanks? Like, why do they have it as two separate hanks of yarn here? There is no pre-start here. There's our center pull. Here's our edge pull. No pre-start. So misleading packaging right there. The pink is also not pre-started, so nothing is pre-started. Very misleading packaging. So let's pull out our hook and our stitch markers and get started. I'm going to put this little guy back in there. This is like a hook to make it a keychain or hang it on a backpack or something. So we have chain, single crochet, increase, so 2 single crochet in 1 stitch, decrease, 2 stitches together, SS, SL, and ST both equal slip stitch, or all 3 equal slip stitch. Okay. Why we have to put that in here multiple ways, I don't know. All right, so row 1, 6 single crochet. Row 2, 6 increase for 12. I feel like this should be in the round. I may have to pause here and look at the video. Okay, so after doing the QR code and watching the video, it does actually have you start off with a magic ring, but when you look at these instructions, nowhere does it tell you to make a magic ring. So that's problem number 1 with this pattern. So let's make a magic ring. I'm going to do it differently than she does in the video. I don't like the way she does in the video. So I wrap the yarn around my 2 fingers, make an X on bottom, and go back around the front, and then I hold this. I go underneath my next finger and hold it between the pinky finger and the ring finger. Under the first bit, over the second, pull it through and twist. Then I'm going to come through and grab that yarn from between the 2 fingers to pull it through. And that is my magic ring. So row 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets. And you're going to crochet into the magic ring. 1. I've never worked with t-shirt yarn before, so this will be interesting. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, so then since it doesn't actually tell you to start with a magic ring in the instructions, it also doesn't tell you you have to close the magic ring. So to close the magic ring, you're just going to pull on this tail, pull it as tightly as you can. This yarn is a little bit stretchy, but not too bad. So pull it as tight as you can, and that closes that ring off. So then when you go back into that first stitch, that ring will get pulled tight. So I've jumped ahead a little bit here to round 2. I don't want to show you the whole pattern just to respect their copyright. So I'm going to do a little bit more with you and show you some of my work, tell you some of my thoughts so you can see what it looks like and how things are going. And I will kind of jump in and out of the pattern for a little bit here for the next section of the video, just to respect their copyright on this so that I'm not showing you the whole pattern to be able to copy it from the video. Okay, so we have this circle forming. I'm not seeing huge gaps, so that's good. I'm not 100% sold on the t-shirt yarn. It's a little bit stretchy, a little bit catchy, grabby, but it may just be because I'm not used to working with it yet. So I'm going to keep going. This is not a tutorial for the pattern, it's a review for the pattern. So I'm going to keep going for a while. I'm going to do a couple more rows, and then when I have some more thoughts, I will come back. But for right now, the main thing is nowhere in this pattern does it tell you to start with a magic ring, even though you're supposed to. So if you don't go and watch that video, you're going to be struggling from the start, because you're going to do this row 1, 6 single crochet. You're going to do it in a straight line, and you're never going to get this pattern to work. So that is my first major issue. A minor issue that I have is it says on the packaging very clearly that it is pre-started for you, and none of these skeins are pre-started. There is nothing that is pre-started for you. So a lot of these kits will actually start that magic ring for you for the first segment, so that, you know, straight off the bat you can just get right into crocheting. And it looks like this one was supposed to, but it did not. So I don't know if that's going to be all of these kits from Brainy Bee, or if it just happens to be that I got a kit that wasn't set up correctly. But yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this, and I'll get back to you when I have some more thoughts. Okay, so here is the main body done. The safety eyes are cute. They have a little bit of a pink shimmer to them. I think he's turning out cute. The body's gonna be okay. Here's their body. I have some thoughts. First of all, yes, the magic ring thing from before, but there's several other issues with the pattern. So they tell you here about the safety eyes being mounted. That's okay. It's a little bit confusing the way they write it, but I think that's being translated from a different language, if I'm being honest. It says the eyes are mounted with R5-R6 and apart 5 stitches between those 2 eyes. So I think it means between rows 5 and 6. Not sure why the width is in there. And then it says, and apart 5 stitches between those 2 eyes. It should be, that's just a weird way to say it. With 5 stitches between those 2 eyes would maybe be a better way to say it. So I put 5 stitches in between them. They're attached between rows 5 and 6. Then it has you complete the entire body before you stuff it. And that's weird to me as well. It doesn't have you stuff it until down here at the very bottom. Row 15, put in the filling cotton, and then do your last row decrease. I actually put in stuffing way up here at row 10. So I did the eyes. I got rows 5 through 9 done. I did the safety eyes. And then I did row 10, which was a decrease row. And after I did that first row of decrease, then I put stuffing in the big part, the fat part of the head up here. So I stuffed all of this at this decrease row right here. Then I went a few more rows, did the increase, and then when I started this decrease row, I put the stuffing in here. And then I did the last row or 2, and then put in the rest of the stuffing. And that worked really well. He's stuffed pretty good. He's squishy, but he's still a little bit firm. This is not the softest yarn on the face of the earth. I think that's the nature of t-shirt yarn, though. I don't think t-shirt yarn is meant to be soft. But he turned out, I think, like he's supposed to, at least for the body. He looks that kind of peanut shape that he's supposed to based on the picture. I did not do any sewing of the nose yet. There's no black yarn in here anywhere at all whatsoever. I have pink yarn, but no black yarn. So I'm not sure what's up. I guess the nose on this one is supposed to be pink. Looking at this picture, I don't know if I like the pink nose. I may get some black yarn from somewhere else and do it. We'll see. But that's why they gave us the pink, is for the nose. So, again, the pattern isn't great. If you have not crocheted before and you follow it, you know, to the letter, you're not going to be stuffing anything in this entire piece until you're down to just these 8 stitches here. And then you got to try and poke your finger all the way down in this thing to get the stuffing down in there. And unless your finger's super long, like, that's going to be hard, because, like, my finger only goes to where the safety eyes are. So you're going to have to be pushing stuff pretty deep into this. And it's just going to be hard. So I definitely recommend that you start stuffing at the first decrease row here and at least get this larger part stuffed at that decrease. And then if you wanted to do this whole thing and not stuff until you finished, then you're only having to stuff this much of it. So that is my suggestion for that. It took me just over an hour to do this. I was watching a YouTube video, so I was a little bit, you know, distracted, paying attention to that as well. So I think I probably could have gotten it done faster if I was just 100% focused in on this, but probably not by much. So about an hour for the body. And I guess they're including the head and bodies. They're saying this is the head and this is the body. So the next thing to work on then is going to be the ears. I didn't start this until pretty late. I think I started it around 9 o'clock-ish. So it's a little after 10 now. I am not going to do the ears or the hands and legs tonight. I'm going to wait and do that tomorrow. So I will come back once I've done those and show you how that worked. I think I probably need another magic ring for those though. So I am going to, before I start these, go check out that tutorial video again. Just to make sure that I'm starting it the correct way, because I do think I need a magic ring on those as well. So I will check that out before I start, and then I will get the ears done, and I will come back and show you what those look like. And I may wait and come back once I have the hands and feet done as well, so I can show you all the pieces and then kind of show you everything sewn together. So I will be back tomorrow for me and immediately for you. So here's all the pieces done. About 45 minutes into the ears, about 15 minutes total into the 2 hands. Those don't get stuffed. About 20 minutes total into the legs. Those do get stuffed. However, it does not say that in the pattern. And then about an hour into the body. So under 2.5 hours for the whole thing. They do give you a decent amount of yarn. I have this much yarn left, even with these long tails on everything. So they give you plenty of yarn, so that's good. But again, this pattern, nowhere in this pattern does it say stuff anything. And it also does not tell you start with a magic ring on any of these. So, yeah. I'm covering most of the pattern here to respect their copyright, even though it's very poorly put together. The other thing to look at is for these suture instructions. Okay, the ears are sewn in rows 2 to 3, so that's fine. But then it says sew it by hand on row 11. Don't know what we're sewing by hand, but something goes on row 11. Then you have 3 legs that get sewn on row 13 and 14, except there's 2 legs and 2 hands, and they don't all go in the same row. 2 go together and then 2 go together later on. So 3 legs on row 13, 14, and then gives you the QR code, asks you to go to the QR code for the video. And again, you know, for the body, you have all of these instructions, but none of them say anywhere to stuff it, and nothing about a magic ring. The first instruction is row 1, 6 single crochet. That makes you think you're starting in a line instead of in a magic ring. And then same thing again down here with the ears. No magic ring, no other instructions. So, unless you watch the videos, you have no idea what to stuff, when to stuff. The body, you know, it does say put in the filling cotton at row 15. So it does tell you that on the body, but not on the legs. But if you wait until row 15, it's already, if you wait until row 15, you're already into the decreases. And you're almost done with the whole body. So it's hard to get the stuffing in. So you really need to do the stuffing when you do that first row of decreases to make your life easier. There's a whole lot wrong here. There's no way that a beginner, which is who this is marketed for beginners, is going to know these things. A beginner is not going to know not only that they need to do a magic ring, but how to do it without instructions. They're not going to know that they need to start stuffing that body at the first decrease instead of waiting till the end. They're not going to know that those legs need to be stuffed even though it doesn't say to. It's just not something a beginner is going to be aware of. So, not happy with this pattern at all. I will go ahead and sew everything together and then show you what it looks like in the end. So this is the finished product. It's the same image from the beginning of this video. And again, lots of problems. Quick summary, you have no mention of magic ring anywhere that a beginner will not know. So if a beginner picks up this pattern and does figure out how many chains they need to make, which it also does not tell you, they will end up with a flat piece. If they don't know how many chains to make to get started, they're not even going to be able to get started. It's a complete non-starter if they're an absolute true beginner. Additionally, stuffing issues with not telling you the correct location to stuff or not at all. The poor quality of the safety eyes. I'm not a fan of the t-shirt yarn. You know, all of these things are negatives for this pattern. I think it did turn out cute, but it is not because of the pattern. It's because I knew what modifications I needed to make it work. I also am going to do another little, probably similar to the hands, to do a tail on the back of it because it's a bunny. It needs a tail, and I don't know why this doesn't have one. So, with all those issues, I don't like this pattern. I do not recommend this pattern unless you are an experienced crocheter and can make the adjustments needed. Thanks for watching. Until next time, be safe, make good choices, live your best life, and I will see you next time.